Welcome back. Reducing government spending, a major priority for Republican lawmakers, and my next guest, no exception. Iowa Senator Joni Ernst revealing a shocking new report showing federal workers at the Defense Health Agency spent $3.3 million and 87,000 hours working on their own union benefits, and taxpayers footed the bill. Joining me now, the woman herself, Senator Joni Ernst, is here, the chairman of the Senate Small Business and Entrepreneurship Committee and the DOJ caucus. Senator, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And you've requested data from dozens of federal agencies about taxpayer-funded union time. What specifically have you learned, and what are you looking to find out?
Well, exactly what you reported, Maria, that many of our public unions are actually doing their work on the taxpayers' dime during the hours that they should be working for our constituencies. And in particular, the DHA, the Defense Health Agency, was very egregious in the amount of time they spent doing union work while they should be working to better the lives of our men and women and their families, those that serve our country in uniform. So you said 87,000 hours. Now that was over a 2-year period of time, and it cost our taxpayers $3.3 million. Think about how far that would go in the DHA in helping our men and women in uniform. We see this in many other agencies as well, and what we want is transparency. Our taxpayers should know exactly how much is being spent on union time, and it even goes further than that, Maria. Things as outrageous as trying to get workers back into the office. We actually had workers that showed up at the office to protest having to come back to work at the office. So we're finding all kinds of things with the DOJ work, the squeal work that I have done for 10 years. And thank heavens we have President Trump and DOJ, the Office of Government Efficiency, that's finally cracking down on these types of activities.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what you have learned and what you have found just by taking a look under the hood and all of this. Meanwhile, the drama over President Trump's tariffs continues to deepen. The president's reciprocal tariffs took effect overnight, including the 104% tariff on Chinese imports because China refused to remove the retaliatory measures they put in place to respond to Trump. Now, the president says nearly 70 countries have approached the White House to negotiate, including Italy, South Korea, Japan. They're already engaged in priority talks with Japan. The president also announced a major tariff on pharmaceuticals is coming very shortly. 2 House Republicans signed on to a bill limiting the president's ability to impose such tariffs without congressional approval, mirroring the Senate's bill, as House GOP leaders scramble to gather votes in favor of the Senate's budget plan. First, let me ask you about that. Do you want to see Congress have say in whether or not President Trump can institute these tariffs?
Well, Maria, I think we need to give the president some space and time to do his negotiations. And I think this is a critical juncture where we can right-size the way we do trade with other nations. And for far too long, we have operated in a trade deficit with many of these countries, and we need to crack this nut, literally. Let's figure it out. Let's make sure that our trade is fair. Let's allow these countries to come visit with President Trump. Hopefully they'll offer up some better deals for the United States. But when it comes to pharmaceuticals in China, I don't feel bad at all for the Chinese. And I do think that we need to be moving more of our manufacturing, more of our pharmaceuticals, anything that deals in national security, back to the shores of the United States, where we can control things that affect our own national security. So I say give him some space.
Yeah, no, I mean, when you look at China, you know, you could understand what the non-trade tariffs are about with regard to China. I mean, I know that the president started on the failure to control the fentanyl flow into the country, but then there's so many other things that communist China has done against the United States to undermine the U.S. over and over. Is 104% tariff appropriate in your view, given all of that?
I think it is very appropriate, Maria. And again, it is a tool in President Trump's toolbox. Let's let him use it. Again, give him some time and space. I do think this is going to work out. But again, we have to reset here in the United States. If we hadn't seen failures in the past, especially in the past 4 years of President Biden, then perhaps we wouldn't be in this situation. President Trump is being very aggressive in this term, and I'm very thankful in so many ways where we can really focus on the American worker, everyday Joe on the street. Let's bring manufacturing and great work back to the United States.
By the way, so many people have been talking about bringing manufacturing back to the United States over the last several years. I mean, this conversation has been underway for a long time, and companies haven't done it. I mean, what else, you know, could the president have used other than you know, forcing it to happen, rather than, you know, to get these supply chains here? So I mean, I understand what the president is doing. This has become a national security issue, but now the Trump tax cuts become that much more important. The president met with conservative holdouts yesterday. Fox is told that he moved some potential no votes to yes votes, Trump urging them to unite and get behind the bill that was already passed. Watch this.
We got to get this big, beautiful deal done. We got to get it done, and get it done now. Don't wait 2 weeks. Don't wait 2 weeks. And we're ready to get this thing done and beyond, and get rid of the debt hangover ceiling that's a disaster for our country and for everybody, and to give people the biggest tax cuts they've ever had. Because if we follow through on this agenda, we will be rewarded with a phenomenal economy and a massive victory at the ballot box in 2026.
So, Senator, what are you thinking here on these tariffs? We understand this issue, and the president is taking on this massive policy, something other presidents have been afraid to do, but it is obviously wrangling markets. You're talking about trillions in market loss in just a few days. And the idea that we are already in a recession, if not, we are going to see one this year. What are your thoughts?
Well, again, so much speculation out there, Maria, and we do understand President Trump is being very aggressive. Believe me, we hear this coming from our farmers in Iowa, others, but they know and understand that we need this reset. So President Trump has mentioned before he loves our farmers. He obviously loves our manufacturers. But if we don't do it now, and if we don't have it with this president, then when will we do it? And who will do it? We absolutely need to reset. So again, space and time, Maria, very important. We have already over 50 countries that have come to Treasury Secretary Bessent and asked him, let's renegotiate, let's work on these tariffs. And I do believe that we will have a positive outcome, but please, we need to allow for a little bit of patience.
Time and space is what you're calling for. Hold on, stay right there, Senator. We've got some breaking news on Delta Airlines as this market has just taken another tumble. Go ahead, Cheryl Casoni with the number.
Well, you're talking about the economy and a potential recession. Delta's outlook is not good. I'll give you the numbers on the earnings per share. 46 cents on the earnings per share. That is a beat. And 14.04 billion on revenue, which is a beat. But they're refusing to give guidance. They will not reaffirm full year 2025 guidance. Given lack of economic clarity, it is premature for us to provide any full year outlook at this time. And then they're also saying that they're seeing a reduction in corporate conditions. Remember, that is the business flyer. Larry Fink, as you know, Maria, had said earlier this week that one CEO told him that the airlines are the canary in the proverbial coal mine because of what they're going to say about the consumer. But again, they are not giving any outlook right now. Stock is now trending higher. Again, a double beat for Delta. It's the commentary that's got the attention of Wall Street, Maria.
All right, Cheryl, thank you. And that is going to be the situation likely for the upcoming week. Senator, you're not going to get conviction from CEOs on what 2025 looks like because they don't have the conviction. They don't know the next step in terms of these tariffs' impact. So do you have a plan B, Senator, in case we actually do deepen into an economic problem here? What is the response for business pretty much slowing down or shutting down with regard to capital markets? markets and a lack of guidance?
Well, and again, I think this is where we work with the administration. They are in the driver's seat when it comes to these tariffs and negotiating for trade. But as Congress, we are in the driver's seat when it comes to the upcoming tax bill. And it is important that we get this right, because this will go hand in hand with the other work that President Trump is doing on the economy. But again, we want to strengthen America, and sometimes you are going to go through a little bit of pain before we become stronger. So I would just say, let's hold tight. Let's work with the administration in the ways that we can here in Congress. Please be patient. Please be calm. Let's work with our friends and allies around the globe, ensure better trade deals, and let's strengthen the American economy.
Senator, you're about to leave. The Congress is about to leave for Easter recess. Do you expect to give us some clarity on what this bill looks like by the end of the week before you go?
I would love that, Maria. A lot more to be seen.
Senator, thank you. Joni Ernst.
Thank you.
On Capitol Hill. We'll see you soon. We'll be right back.